Morning vlog, and welcome to episode 42 of DAILYCEE. So I just wanted to spend a little bit of time today and talk to you guys about 3 of my favorite fiction books. Now actually these are 3 books that we haven't talked about so far on Daily Read or on the channel at all, but I've been such a fan of fiction my entire life, and these 3 books are 3 books that I have and that I've wanted to talk about for a while, and so here they are, my 3 favorite fiction books. Now, book number 1 is going to be Thomas Harris's Hannibal Rising. Now, I've talked about Thomas Harris before on the channel, where I brought up his other novel, Red Dragon, which is the unofficial beginning of the Hannibal Lecter series, but Hannibal Rising is a prequel to that entire storyline with Will Graham and of Clarice in Silence of the Lambs. This story is the beginning of Hannibal Lecter's life. It follows him growing up, his family, his little sister, and his journey through medical school, and it really sets the stage for creating the monster that we know as Hannibal the Cannibal. And is once again beautifully written in that amazing language that I've talked about before from Thomas Harris. But Hannibal Lecter, both in the books and on the TV show, is just one of my absolute favorite villains of all time, and this is just his origin story. So, Hannibal Rising by Thomas Harris. Now, the second favorite fiction book that I have right now is Anthem by Ayn Rand. Now, for sure, it has definitely been a long time since I've read this, and honestly, I never knew that people were supposed to read this like in high school or in college, that it was a required reading. I had never even heard of it until a couple of years ago, but I really wish I had read it back then, because I think it would have definitely helped in building my identity of who I am and the belief in myself. Now, for a little refresher for myself and for anyone watching, Anthem is a short fiction novella based on a dystopian society that has really attempted to completely eradicate all ideas of individual freedoms and individualism. And it forces the people to work towards the plan or overall goals of the collective. And in this story, it doesn't even give its characters real names, or names that they could ever choose for themselves, such as the main character, Equality 7-2521, or his love interests, Liberty 5-3000. I really loved this book for its ideas on individualism, finding out who you really are, and the undying truth in fighting for what you believe in, even if that goes against what society or the collective tells you what you should believe in. So again, Anthem by Ayn Rand. It's only 100 pages, so I highly suggest it. And finally, my favorite nonfiction book that I have is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. And honestly, this is one of my favorite books in all of American literature of all time. And of course, like many of you, I did have to read it in high school. I read this in 10th grade, and I absolutely loved it then, and I still love it to this day. Now, I'm sure that many of you have read this, so I won't waste too much time going over the plot, but Fitzgerald does tackle some huge issues, such as the decline of the American dream, especially during the corruptible age of the 1920s, how people only tend to see value in objects or things only when they impose that value onto them, and the religious implications that that idea has, and this very interesting dichotomy between what society's values are and what your own individual values are, and how those clash together. Honestly, it's just the characters, the symbolism, and the storytelling of The Great Gatsby that made it one of my favorite books of all time. So if you've never had the privilege of reading The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, please do. So those are my 3 books: Hannibal Rising, Anthem, and The Great Gatsby. If you haven't given those a read, I highly suggest that you guys do. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a good rest of your day.